Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inspirational Wednesday, a moment of hope, healing, and encouragement for your week. I am so happy to have you here. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. This is a moment each week where we pause from the busyness of life to encourage one another, reflect, and remember that even in difficult seasons, hope is never out of reach. Today's message is called Finding Courage in Times of Adversity. Adversity is something every one of us will experience. It may look different for each person, but none of us are completely untouched by it. For some, adversity is losing someone they love. For others, it's caring for a family member, facing financial struggles, living with anxiety, or simply trying to keep moving forward when life feels overwhelming. The question isn't whether adversity will come, the question is how do we respond when it does? When we hear of the word courage, we often picture someone doing something extraordinary, maybe climbing a mountain, saving someone's life, standing on a stage speaking to thousands of people. Those things certainly takes courage, but I've learned that courage often look much quieter than that. Sometimes courage is simply getting out of bed when yesterday completely drained you. Sometimes courage is making that phone call you've been avoiding. Sometimes courage is choosing to smile even though your heart is hurting. Sometimes courage is taking one more step when every part of you wants to quit. I've realized that courage isn't about never feeling afraid. It's about refusing to let fear make every decision for you. When I think about adversity, I think about different seasons in my own life. Losing my brother Richard, becoming my grandmother's caregiver, living with anxiety and experiencing panic attacks. There were moments when I didn't feel courageous at all. There were days when I questioned whether I was strong enough. But looking back now, I realize courage wasn't found in one big moment. It was found in the little decisions. Choosing to keep going, choosing to believe that brighter days could still come, choosing to start this podcast, even though a part of me wondered if anyone would even listen to me. That was something that I really, had a difficult time when I decided that I wanted to start this podcast. And I was thinking to myself, the voices in my head keep telling me, who would want to listen to you? Nobody wants to listen to you. Why would you think somebody wants to listen to you? But I still choose to start anyway. I still face my fears. I just ignore those voices and keep going. And I said, I'm going to start this podcast. And sometimes we wait until we feel brave before taking action. But I've learned that courage often comes after we take the first step, not before. Yes, so when you take that first step, that is when courage comes. So I decided, I'm going to go ahead anyways, even though the voices in my head telling me that want to listen to me, I decided to take the first step and do my recordings. And that is courage. I like to share a little story with you. There was once a young seed buried deep beneath the soil. It couldn't see the sun. It couldn't see the flowers. All it knew was darkness. Every day it wondered, will I ever become anything more than this? Then one day it felt a tiny push from within. It didn't understand it, but it kept growing slowly. It pushed through the heavy soil. The journey wasn't easy. The rain came, the wind blew. There were days when it bent so low it thought it would never stand again. But it kept growing. Eventually, it broke through the surface. For the very first time, it felt the warm sun. It became a beautiful flower. Not because life had been easy, but because it kept growing through difficult conditions. Sometimes we're like that little seed. We feel buried beneath problems, responsibilities, grief, and uncertainty. But perhaps we're not buried. Perhaps we're being planted. Growth often happen in places that don't feel comfortable. And let me repeat that for you. Growth often happen in places that don't feel comfortable. Whatever adversity you've been facing today, please don't believe that this season will last forever. Life has seasons. Some are joyful, some are difficult, some teach us lessons we never expected to learn, but every season has something to teach us. If we're willing to keep moving forward, you don't have to take 10 steps today. You don't have to have all the answers. Just take the next step. Tomorrow can wait until tomorrow. Today's quote I would want to share with you: courage is resistance to, so it stated, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. And this quote is from Mark Twain. And it states again, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. I love that quote because it reminds us that courage doesn't mean we never we are never afraid. It means we choose not to let fear control us, control our lives. As as you go through this week, I want to encourage you to ask yourself one question. What's one courageous step I can take today? Not next week, not next month, today. Maybe it's making that phone call. Maybe it's applying for that job. Maybe it's forgiving someone. Maybe it's simply believing in yourself again. Whatever it is, take that step because you never know what might be waiting for you on the other side of courage. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me today. If this message encouraged you, I love you to share in the comments what is one challenge you've overcome that made you stronger. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Until next week, Wednesday, remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Have a beautiful week.